Hey guys, it's Melody from Melody Crochet, and today's fast easy project is for these hair bandanas. These are fabulous for if you just want to tie your hair back and get on with your day, or if you are just hanging out around the house, and they make fabulous gifts too. They hardly take any yarn. They take very little time. They're a super simple project if you're just beginning to practice your stitches, and you can make a few of these and put them together. You can make just one and put it together with, I don't know, maybe other small gift if you're feeling like it's a little light, but they work up so quickly and they're so comfortable and so functional. I really think that they're going to add to your repertoire of gift giving. So you will require, if you want to make one just like me, I went with an H hook and size 4 worsted weight yarn. This is Lion Brand's Ice Cream with Cotton, but you can use any yarn that you have, any size 4 worsted weight, on up to Aran, down to DK. If you want to go much smaller than that, use a smaller hook, do a few more rows, just like I'll show you. And if you want to go with a bigger yarn, it won't lay quite as well.
Uh-oh, looking good, girl. You want a man hug on that?
Thank you. You like my bandana?
I like your bandana.
She likes my bandana.
I like.
But as it were, great gift, great for yourself. Takes very little time, very little yarn. You can use whatever you have around the house, but you will need the coordinating size crochet hook, some scissors, and a yarn needle to finish off. Let's get started, shall we? Alrighty, let's get started. I have all the things that I'm going to need in a little bowl nearby. Here's my scissors and my yarn needle. I keep these in a little bowl nearby whenever I'm crocheting. I also have copies of that inside my little yarn basket. Let me know if you want me to do a video about what's in my yarn basket when I'm on crochet to go. Here's my H hook. And instead of making another yellow one, I'm going to go ahead and make a green one out of Simply Soft. So this is Karen Simply Soft in a nice, bright, beautiful green. It's going to take hardly any. So I took some aside because I had some serious yarn vomit from this green Simply Soft. And this entire part came out when I tried to get the center pull when I was making something a few days ago. So I figure I'll just use that for the bandana. So I'm just using the yarn vomit. That's such a small amount. Let me see if I can get it. Just that much. I know that's more than enough. So it's also a size 4 worsted weight. It's a really lightweight worsted though. And I know that this drape's going to look really pretty in the bandana because you kind of want it to fall, and it's not too stretchy. So it's not going to be like falling down the back of your head. It's going to be able to tie securely. Let's get this going. I'm doing a slip knot. Boop. Replace your slip knot around your finger with your hook. Go ahead and chain for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch into the first chain that you made to form a ring. Chain 2, and that is going to be pretty much our first double crochet. So, hi Dixie. There's a puppy nose. Hi baby. Excuse me. I just put on hand lotion. She's a hound. She goes by scent. She loves the smell of hand lotion. So I get lots of kisses when I put on hand lotion. As it were. Hey baby girl. So that's going to be the first of 6 double crochets that we're making here. And we're going to have a chain 2 in the middle. It's basically just half of a granny square. Yarn over, insert, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull under 2, yarn over, pull under 2, and that's our first double crochet. So we have a chain 2 that is standing in as a first double crochet, and now we have a first double crochet and a second double crochet, followed by chain 2, 1, 2, and another 3 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Awesome. There is row 1. Follow that with a chain 2. Turn your work at the base of your chain, 2 double crochets. So that chain 2 once again is standing in as the first of the 3 double crochets in a cluster. So 1, 2, 3, chain 1, yarn over and insert a double crochet right in that center chain 2 space. So we are worked into the center space. In this space, we want 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, all worked right there, so that we have 1. So here's 2. Ooh, I got a little bit of a splitty Simply Soft. Hopefully your yarn is not splitting on you right now. May your yarn never split. 3 more. I just did that chain 2. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Chain 1, and then we're going to work in the very last double crochet. So right there. One, 2, and 3. That's a nice cluster. Once again, chain 2 and turn. That is our first double crochet of the cluster. At the base of that chain 2, 2 more double crochets. Followed by a chain 1. Yarn over, and now if you look at the anatomy here, we have our first cluster that we put in the base of the chain. We have a random chain space, it's a chain 1 space from last row. Then we have the center. So this is center, and this is a chain space on the side. So side chain space, center, side chain space, and right there. Now each of these are going to get a cluster. So you got that cluster, you'll need a cluster there. You'll need a center cluster, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, all in that center. Here's a side space, so that's going to need a cluster, and we're going to plant one right there. So let's do it together. Right here we have chain 2, double crochet, chain 1. Here we need 1 cluster in this side space, which is 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1 and get ready for that center space of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2. That chain 2 makes it so you get to turn that triangle. Here we only have a chain 1 because it's still continuing straight. You don't have to make any drastic angles, but we have kind of a drastic angle here when you do this corner. So chain 2 just to make up for that space so you don't get any rounding. Now we need 3 more double crochets after the chain 2. 1, 2, and 3. Amazing. Awesome. Chain 1 and put 3 double crochets in that side chain space and every side chain space after this. I told you it was simple. You probably didn't guess how simple. And here is our 1, 2, and 3 double crochets of that cluster. You are going to put 3 double crochets in the top of that first stitch of the row. Ooh, come here. There he is. 1, 2. It's enough to make you wish you had chained looser. And 3. That row is complete. And what we're left with is the beginning and end will of course get their cluster. We now have 2 chain spaces on each side, and you'll have an additional one each row. This next row you'll have 3 chain spaces before hitting center, and on and on. So in here on these chain 1 spaces on the side, you'll get 1 cluster. You'll hit middle, and I know you know already, I'm gonna say it one more time though. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then we can turn and work down this end. Let's do it. Chain 1, chain 2, turn your work, 2 more double crochets in the base of that chain, 1, 2, chain 1, move on to your first side chain space, 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, next side space, 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. We've hit center, 3 double crochets, a chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over, insert 3 double crochets in that same space. Chain 1, and let's get down the other side, shall we? Yarn over and insert 3 double crochets down each chain space on a side. Like I mentioned, there's 2 in this row. There'll be 1 extra each row that you make after this. So 2. Ooh, splitty. Chain 1. And we've hit the side. So that first cluster, you're going to go into the last chain, the last stitch of that row. Three double crochets. I think I forgot to yarn over eager. 3 double crochets into the very last stitch of that row. I may have gotten a questionable ball of yarn. You always know when you get a bunch of yarn vomit right off the bat. You should probably question the validity of your ball of yarn. But I'm optimistic. I thought it could turn itself around, but I'm wondering. Dear me. It's all for naught. Okay. Two. That was work. And 3. Let me know down below in the comments. Have you ever had a ball of yarn that was challenging? A skein, a hank? Let me know. Worst experience. I like to keep it positive, but I think our experience, since most yarn experiences are amazing, it's okay to think about the one that's gone wrong. So let me know. Worst yarn ball experience. 1, 2, we chain 2 and turn, and we are starting row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is how we're going to be doing the rows after this also. We're taking this to 14 rows long. So if this is 1, 2, 3, and 4, the next 10 rows are going to be a repeat of what I show you right now. Doing 2 more double crochets, hi sweetheart, in the same stitch, the base of that chain 2. Chain 1 each side space. We'll get 1 cluster of 3 double crochets followed by a chain 1. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1. Here's the last one. 1, 2, 3. We've hit center. 3 double crochets in each center, followed by chain 2 and 3 more double crochets just to turn that corner. 1, 2, there we go. And now we're on the other side, and you're going to put a cluster of 3 double crochets followed by a chain 1 in each side chain space. So 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and we've hit the end. And on the last row, you look at the very last cluster and you double crochet 3 times in the top of the last one. Okay, and that is how you're going to do the next 9 rows. So this is row 5. You're taking this 14 rows wide. I'll meet you back here after you've done 14 total rows. And I've completed row 14. We have our cute little triangle going on, but we do need to make the ties still. So right out of that last cluster, chain 25. 1, 2, not too tight, you're gonna have to work into these. 3, 4, 23, 24, 25. And in the second chain from your hook, go ahead and slip stitch. So just insert your hook, yarn over, and draw through everything on your hook. A little challenging on the first 1 or 2. Insert into the next chain, yarn over, and pull through everything on the hook. This is going to make it so your ties are a little less stretchy. So I'm holding on to my strand from the left to set it in. Then I change and hold on to the right side of my work. I slip stitch through each of the chains. Now I've met my work. Now these are all this side of either chain 2s or double crochets, and you are going to single crochet 2 times in the side of each chain 2 and double crochet, or just single crocheting, single crochet into the place they meet, that little hole right there, single crochet, then you're at a chain 2 space right there, 2 single crochets on the side of your chain 2 space. I'm not going into those spaces, I'm going around them. Then you're at another meeting, single crochet, then you're on the top of a double crochet, 2 single crochets on the side of that double crochet at the end, then where it meets, single crochet. I think you're getting the idea. You are not only putting 2 single crochets on the side of each stitch, you're also planting one in that little flower where it was that you put the 3 stitches. So on the side of the stitch, and then where all 3 stitches meet. 1, 2, 3. All the way across until you hit center. You'll plant one in the very center where it all started and continue across to the other side. Alrighty, worked myself all the way across, so now it looks nice and tidy. And we just need to make the tie on the other side. So go ahead and chain for 25 again, and then slip stitch back. But we have hit the triangle. All you're going to do is slip stitch into the body of your triangle, pull through everywhere, yarn over to fasten off, grab your scissors. You don't need much of a tail for this. I like to weave in on the single crochets. They're a little bit more structural. Turn it around and go back where you came from, but you don't want to just bind off in one direction. There we go. That should be rather secure. And that is your bandana. I barely made it. That's how much yarn I have left from my little yarn vomit pile that I started with. But thanks for watching. I'll be back the day after tomorrow or tomorrow with my next tutorial. It is going to be, a bath puff made with this yarn. So if you have any nearby, you can use whatever cotton you have. Especially worsted weight works really well, but this is the sugar and cream scrub off, and I'm really curious how it's going to work with this. Might have to go get another ball because I don't know, my bath puffs eat yarn. They just eat yarn. You might actually need 2 of these, or 2 regular balls of cotton, or maybe one of the extra large. I know sometimes they have the jumbo balls of cotton, not the cones, but they have the ones that are slightly bigger. They're like that big. and they're just the cotton, not the scrubby, but I have never used the yarn that's just like this or the one that's mixed like this ever. So it's going to be kind of a review, first impressions. You probably have used it. If you haven't, join me. We could explore it together.